Click the button. How much of a delay is there? Are we live? We're live. What's up? 3 minutes late as usual. I was gonna be we're live. Oh, hold on, I have to mute that. 3 minutes late as usual. I was gonna be echo. Okay, we're good. What's up? I meant to be early this time. I'm always something happens and I'm like 2 minutes late. This time the door to my apartment was like stuck. I feel like my apartment door breaks like every 4 months or something like that, and they have to fix it, and they take 2 weeks to get the replacement part every time. I don't know why they don't just replace the whole door, but whatever. What's up? Who's here? 6 watching. Hell yeah. Let's see if I've been putting together a Discord at the request of the people, the chat. So that is in the description for all the VOD watchers and people here early. There's a link in the description to a Discord invite. I'll officially launch it in an actual video at some point, but for the folks that are here in the stream, little special thing. Mom, I'm on a tube television. Hell yeah. Back on the... Oh, it's a little behind this time. What's wrong? It's just behind. Let's see if I can get this working. There it is. Now you're on the tube television. Yeah, so the Discord, just putting this up. Unusual join activity detected on Clabo Corp. Unusual 25 joins? That can't be right. There's a little alert that I'm not super familiar with Discord. I've set up one like a couple of years ago, but they updated the software so much. Now there's so many things that you can do. It's pretty sick. The stream ping worked. I have this set up so that you can join the Discord and get like notifications whenever a video or a stream goes live, and there's a way to like automated do that. And I was troubleshooting that the other week, and now it seems to be working. It worked on the most recent upload, and now it says live streaming right now with a link. So hell yeah. If you want notifications that work better than the YouTube ones, I feel like even if you click the bell on YouTube, like people stress that so much, they're like, click subscribe and click the bell. But nobody actually, like, it doesn't work half the time, I feel like. So the Discord's there if you want that. What's up? How's everybody doing today? It's been 2 videos since I streamed last. I've been out of town for like a whole week the other week. So when I posted the G9X video, the pocket camera video, I was actually out of town for that. And then I came back and I made that lens repair video in like 1 day, which is insane for me. Like, you know, it was only a couple months ago that I was putting out a video once every 3 months or something. Like, they would take so long to make, but I'm trying to get better at like just being more comfortable with the videos being a little more raw. And in the end, I feel like that's actually what people enjoy more, is the more raw, straightforward stuff. Lyndon, what's up? What is up? We got the regulars in here. 13 people. How's it going? So yeah, we're gonna just hang out for a bit, check in. I'm trying to establish sort of a expectation of like, I'm gonna be live every Thursday, at least that I'm in town, and videos every Tuesday, because I think consistency is where YouTube really starts to take your channel seriously, and people can expect something at a certain time. So Tuesday videos, Thursday streams, that's the plan. Which has been sort of my aspiration for a while, but for 2024, I'm locking in, like I'm really actually doing it. Like there will be 52 videos next year, I swear. And if that means some of them are not as good, that's just how it is. That's the YouTube game. Good evening, Evan. What's up? What is up? So yeah, we have 2 videos that I posted. I posted a video on Thursday and a video this Tuesday, 2 days ago. So as usual, I'm going to do a bit of a director's commentary, just go through those videos and just talk a little bit more about them. I'm toying with the idea of making videos longer in general and including some more of the technical details in each upload, but I don't know. Still experimenting with it. So, love your builds and creative videos. Would love to know what your everyday carry is and what watch that is. Yeah, my everyday did you ever revisit the kitchen timer and fix it? That'd be a good video if I could find it. So, everyday carry. At this point, it's one of these Field Notes branded notebooks, which I know Field Notes, like, there's other options when it comes to pocket notebooks. Field Notes is like the I guess one of the nicer brands, so it's kind of more expensive than some other stuff. Like, you could buy a pocket spiral notebook at Walmart for $1. These are like maybe $5 a piece, but I really like the quality of them and the varying, like, you can buy them with all sorts of different, like, these ones have dot grid on them, which I enjoy writing on a grid more than I like writing on lines, because it allows you to sketch and also write, and there's always a mix of both when it comes to a pocket notebook for ideas and such. I get these, like, what's it called, the Craft series or something, that has dot grid. It's got little tear lines on the paper. You can't see it, but so if you need to, like, write something, give somebody your phone number or contact info or whatever, you can write it down, and there's a little thing you can tear off. And then what I've been doing lately is I, like, gaff tape on the notebook, and I do little doodles on it too, but I gaff tape it to add some rigidity so I can get it to stay open when I want it to stay open, a little more thickness to form it nicer. So that's my biggest pocket carry. That Pentel gel pen is goated. Good choice. Yeah, I used to be a Pilot G2 kind of guy, but those ones write so smooth. But I switched to the Pentel Energel series. This is so nerdy, but this is what the channel's all about, being nerdy about random things. Because the ink, whatever compounded it, I forget what it, like gel ink versus something else, it smears less, and I kind of write weird. Like, you might notice in any of my videos that I'm sketching, I hold my pencil like this, and I write across, so, like, I'll get all those smears of, like, graphite and ink smears, so I prefer an ink that dries quicker and smears less. So that's why I switched to the Pentel. It's got a metal tip, pretty nice. Other pocket carry is, gotta make sure I don't leak my credit card info. Chapstick, everyday carry, Burt's Bees. And then this, which I'll probably do a video, or well, I'll do like a mock brand deal thing. You know how everybody's sponsored by, like, Ridge Wallet or some similar company, or it's like, oh, this nifty minimalist metal plated wallet is how they always say it, and it's like, oh, it's so convenient, it's so much slimmer than your bulky leather wallets. This is my nifty minimalist metal plated wallet. It's a binder clip, and you just clip all of your credit cards together, and it's like a pocket, you can clip money in there, and it's really funny. I think it would be hilarious to do, like, a fake brand deal spot where it's like, this video is sponsored by nifty minimalist metal plated wallet, and it's just binder clips. But unironically, this works so well. It's a money clip, it's credit cards, it's everything you need. I just put the credit cards that I use the least on the outside, so the stuff in the middle, if I need my driver's license, I can just pull it out in the middle Hopefully you can't see any important details there, and then slide it back in. It works weirdly well for how simple it is, and it's so thin, so pocketable. What's the brand called? I tried Moleskine and Field Notes Pocketbook, but I just feel all right about them. Yeah, it's a Field Notes. I think it's the Craft series. They come in like blue, green, and orange. So I actually need to start a new one. I'm on the last page of my current notebook, but I've got a bunch more. So it's these guys. This is what they look like before they're all taped up. I get Burger King coupons in there. Yeah, so I get them in orange and green because those are like my colors that I use for everything, but they're pretty sick. I also appreciate just the Field Notes branding of how in every notebook they put like all of the exact specifications of what paper they use, what ink they use. And they're also made they're designed in Chicago, and I think they're made in Indianapolis, which is sick because that's where I'm from. Spend a lot of time in Chicago, and I lived around Indy, moving back to Indianapolis. So it's kind of cool that it's like sort of local, U.S. made, you know. But Moleskine looks cool, but for a pocket notebook, like I want it to be as thin as possible, so it's not like a burden. I tried to switch to these Field Notes brand. I forget what this one's called. It's like a heavy duty workbook. It's got more pages, and it has these thick like cardboard things, and it's flip top, which is pretty nice for being able to leave it open. But I ended up just not liking this because it's just so much thicker. You feel it in your pocket more. It's not as low key. I like my everyday carry to be as unencumbered as possible. That's pretty much it for my everyday carry. What else do I carry? Oh, you asked about the watch. Seiko Orange Monster. I'm not a huge I like watches, but I try not to buy too many of them because that's a hobby that can get expensive real quick. So I buy them junky and used. Like this one's from the 90s. I buy them cheap. Fix them up. There's actually going to be a video on this because currently the movement isn't working. So I just got this in the mail, which is a brand new 7S26 movement or whatever. So if you're ever curious, this is what the brain... Oh, come on, focus. This is what the brain of a watch looks like. It has this little disc in the back that's like gravity. It's a weight, and that's what winds your watch for a watch that's not powered by batteries. And in the old watch that I have now, because this was probably manufactured in the 90s, and it hasn't been serviced much, or ever, probably. So that disc that's supposed to rotate freely is not rotating, so it doesn't wind when you move it like it should. Unfortunate. So I'm just going to replace the movement. And I also got some new glass for it because I think this is not the original glass. It's supposed to be domed, and this one's flat. So I got some replacement glass, going to press it out, do a little watch maintenance video. Yeah, for everyday carry, that's it. I used to carry I don't know where I put it. I used to have my keys on a little jackknife, like a Swiss Army knife, and you can kind of use a Dremel and cut your keys so that they fit into the slots where like the pocket knife used to go and stuff like that. It's something that Casey and Van Neistat made for Tom Sachs back in their HBO show. So I made one of those, but then I never ended up updating it when I moved, so it's got the wrong house key on it. So now I just carry a regular keychain. But I'll go back to that at some point. And I don't every day carry like a knife or a flashlight like most people do. But I'm looking to get into that for sure. Okay, so I'm very behind on chat now. Did you ever revisit the kitchen timer and fix it? No, I don't think... I'm trying to remember. I found it recently, like within the past 2 years or so. I put it in a box, all the pieces. But I can't remember I think I threw it away. I had like a little phase where I was like, I'm usually a hoarder about things. I keep everything. But then sometimes I get in the mood and I'm like, all right, you got too much shit. Time to throw things away. So I think I threw that one away. Also, side note about the kitchen timer story. That's like my go-to story for like when I was very young, like disassembling something, getting in over my head and not knowing how to put it back together. And I didn't realize I was checking some of my old videos the other day, and I looked back at the video that I did on the DeWalt battery, like the fake DeWalt battery that I made. And I didn't realize I told that story in that video too. So now I've said that twice. So I didn't remember that I had said that story before. Do you do any programming? No, not really. I used to, like when I was younger, before I had like a space to spread out and work with physical mediums, I was like more into digital mediums. Like that's where I got good at Photoshop. I got good at Photoshop first and then started learning a little bit of video editing. And I did actually do a little bit of programming, light programming. It was like, I don't know if it's still around, but there was a software called Game Maker Studio. I think they rebranded as GM Studio or something like that. And that was like light programming. But I did mess around with that. I actually have footage somewhere. I don't know if it's worth the time to... No, it's worth the time. I have footage. I found this old hard drive, or my dad found this old hard drive recently, of all of my stuff that I made when I was much younger, which is why there was an abundance of, in the G9X, the pocket camera video, there was an abundance of clips of me when I was young trying to make YouTube videos and stuff. And that was because I just found this old hard drive. If I can find the cable to plug it in, I'll show you something. And so this is just all my old YouTube attempts when I was like 14 or something, you know. Every kid is wanting to make YouTube videos, but I kind of wish I stuck with it harder, because then, you know, how much better would I be now if I had been making YouTube videos for literally 10 years. There's kind of a break. I tried to make stuff when I was like 14, when I first got a camera. Actually, I didn't remember, but checking through the old footage, I used to film stuff on my iPod Nano, not even an iPod Touch, an iPod Nano, and it was like 480p. Super sick, super crusty. Okay, so let's see. I'm looking for this footage right now of me programming when I was a young child. My organization from back then is so bad. It's in a folder called raw footage that won't be used. Or is it in stuff that won't get posted? There it is. This is a gold mine. Eye color test, yeah. So I was like testing a bunch of character customization stuff. No, not that. This. Left monitor. I think the audio is going to be messed up here. Let's mute. So this is me on a webcam when I was like 13, and I'm making this top-down RPG thing. And so there's my little character. It looks bad. It doesn't look good. But it's me walking around, trying stuff. But this wasn't like, not hardcore programming, you know, that's just some basic object-based drag and drop stuff. But it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I would be down, I would be down to learn programming. I want to learn, or maybe just like get in touch with somebody that's like really good at web design to like make a very customized website. I'm getting back into, actually just today I transferred a domain. evanmonsma.com is now back in my back in my toolbox. So I'll be doing something with that. So I'm actually looking into web programming. Okay, very behind. Thank you, everybody that's in the chat, everybody watching. I'll be doing these every Thursday too, except not next Thursday because holidays, you know. I'm also so I'm committing to every Tuesday, 2024, there will be an upload, and every Thursday that I'm in town, at least, there will be a stream. I don't know if I'm leaving for my hometown tomorrow, so I need an upload for the January 2nd to start the streak. So I'm going to try to make a video here between tonight and tomorrow morning for the 2nd, but there probably won't be anything on this channel next week. Cause if I posted next Tuesday, that would be day after Christmas anyway. And I don't know if anybody actually watches. Drapeland. Yeah. He's the guy that makes field notes, right? He's sick. He's very cool. What kind of stuff do you write in your pocket notebook? Just notes. Mostly video ideas, but I also, every day I write, not like a daily journal. I would like to get better at daily journaling, like thoughts and feelings and such, but every day I write down what time I wake up and what time I go to bed and like how much I snooze. So I have data I've done this religiously every day for 2023. So I have data for when I woke up and went to bed every day this year. And that's pretty useful for me because I, struggle with fatigue a lot, with a little condition I have that makes fatigue management hard. So if I don't manage my sleep super hardcore, then I can easily sleep, 14 hours in a day. So that's pretty important to me. That's one of the main things I use the daily journal for. And then also just writing business ideas and video ideas, thumbnail titles. I'd be scared of losing my shit. Love my Grip 6 wallet. Yeah, but are you talking about this? my nifty minimalist metal plate. It looks so janky, but it actually works better than you'd think. And I've had other people convert to this. My friend John started doing this, and then I think somebody at his work saw him using the Office Clip as a wallet, and they started using it. So it's kind of spreading a little bit. It's more useful than you'd think. Currently looking for an alternative for field notes because I found that the fountain pen is way easier to write for me, but field notes sucks with interesting. Yeah, different paper types. I never carry my wallet, just have cash in plastic bags and don't use cards. Yeah, that works, I guess. Yo, what's up, Lazy Box? Do you have an everyday lens/filter for your videos? I think right now, at least the past couple videos, 99% of the shots have been on this lens, which is the Sony 18-105 f4, just because it's, super big old zoom, power zoom, which is nice, snappy autofocus, bright enough for a well-lit studio. But I'm actually messing around more with vintage lenses, kind of getting back into the C-mount weird tiny lenses. Let me actually show you. I was messing around with it last night. Flip this thing on, the top-down camera. I was messing with it last night because I was realizing when I started making videos, autofocus was such a big hindrance for me whenever I would appear on camera. This shot needs to be autofocus, because if I'm moving around, it's hard to keep myself in focus, and moving out of the way to pull focus, and then you have nothing to pull focus to. So for piece to cameras where I'm appearing on camera, autofocus is a must-have. But now that I have reliable autofocus, I'm realizing once again, there's a time and place for manual focus, And when I'm filming over the shoulder here on this desk, just filming close-ups on little things, the autofocus, it's really good at picking out faces, but it's not as good at picking out what I want it to be focused on the desk. Like if I'm sawing something, it doesn't know whether to focus on the saw or the subject, and I want it to be focused on like the point that's getting sawed, you know? So manual focus is becoming a larger part of my workflow again. Let's see if this works. HDMI 2. Come on, come on. Oh, did that camera die? That would be unfortunate. Oh no, I just don't have the HDMI plugged in. That's on me. So I want to show you what this vintage lens looks like. Let's see if this works. Because the look that you get out of it is so unique. And they're not that expensive. Oh. Save. Very out of focus. So, pull focus. Look how like weird and dreamy it is, you know? And then if you open it all the way, you get crazy looking artifacts. There's definitely a time and place for that. There's certain spots where you want everything to be sharp, but there's other spots that like it's cool to have like a stylized kind of old filmic look. What's the Discord? Fish are cool. What's up, Fish are cool? I remember you from the comments. I like the username. It's in the description. There will be like an official launch of the Discord in a video, probably after the holidays. The video that I post on Tuesday, January 2nd, I'll probably officially release the Discord. But for now, like those of you that are in the chat, hop in. There's actually like 15 people in here already. That's sick. Yeah, it's in the description of this stream. But on the question of lenses / filters for video, I used to use like a Tiffin, those like mist filters that a lot of people use for photography and such. So like, there's the filter. So you see how like those lights are like blooming more. So like it's super sharp, and then this maybe you could say looks more cinematic, whatever that means to you. I kind of like that, but it also adds a lot more weird lens flares and stuff. So I use it sometimes, not use it other times. The main thing that contributes to the look of my videos is just the color grade, the LUT that I use, which I just made myself. It mostly just warms things up, pumps the greens. Slowly, I'm always tuning the LUT to be. I used to slam the saturation way too much because I didn't realize this monitor that I usually edit on has a very different saturation level than most other screens. So I was blasting my footage, like turning the vibrance up way too much, and now I'm realizing that I shouldn't have done that. So slowly getting better at it, but yeah, it's mainly color grade. What's your opinion on film cameras? I have a buddy, Michael, that shoots on film a lot. It's actually sick. Like, I don't do much photography, but if I got into photography, it would be film. Just because, you know, the limitations of the format are pretty sick. And I just like the look. Because the reason that photography is hard to get into for me is like, you can Photoshop the hell out of everything, especially with like AI tools. It feels like it's harder, like the line of like what's an authentic photo and what's not is like tougher now with compositing and stuff. And so I kind of like the simplicity of film of like, it is what it is, you know? I have this film scanner above my mini fridge right there. That's like a film photo enlarger for making prints of film. I found it at a Goodwill, which is so random. Those things are like $1,000 machines usually. I mean, it's a pretty old one, so I don't know if it's worth much anymore, but I found it for like $50 at a Goodwill, and I was like, I'll get that. Maybe use it for something. So when I moved back to Indianapolis, where my friend Michael is, who does film photography, and there's a lot of other people out there that do film that I've sort of got connections with, so it'll be sick to like I'm going to try to like start developing film for them and stuff, and that might make an interesting video. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing that I would like to get into. I also have my dad's old, he took a film photography class in college where he went to Australia and shot, a bunch of kangaroos on this lens, 75 to 200. It's an old Pentax, I think, as well as this lens, which I've adapted to use. I use this occasionally, a little 50 millimeter f2. And I still have that camera and some very expired film from probably the 80s or 90s or something. So I want to get that running at some point. So that'll be a video that probably happens next year. A jack of all trades here. Maybe. I certainly try a lot of things. I don't know if I'm good at a lot of things, but yeah, I appreciate it. I worked on my own website, but tabled that project for a while. When I came back, the CSS was alien to me. Yeah, I feel like it's something you have to practice. Otherwise it like fades. Like I have no idea where to start with that now. What's the Discord? In the description. Oh, I want to talk about the Discord too. Currently stuck with the Sony E Power Zoom 16 to 50. That's the little pancake kit lens. I actually kind of wanted to buy one of those because I tend to think kit lenses are like overshat on. Like people are like, oh, you're using a kit lens, but like they're actually kind of like I filmed only with a kit lens before this year basically, and it was like it's good, it gets the job done. And they're like, I can't remember, does the 16 to 50 have OSS as well, stabilization? I think it does. And it's like it's hard to find a lens that's that small. I think people underrate like how small lenses are. It's that small, it's got zoom, even if it is like variable aperture zoom, which isn't ideal, but it gets the job done. It's got stabilization, and it's just they're underrated, I think. I like that lens. It does have OSS. Yeah, it's an underrated thing. Like where else can you get 16 to 50 or something in that range, like a mid zoom that goes from wide to fairly long, stabilization, autofocus, and it's like this small. It's freaking awesome. I want one for I bought an A6600 used, so it didn't come with the kit lens, but I kind of want one for it because it's just such a good little rig. I think it still has free courses and a pretty concise way to learn. You're talking about website programming. In fact, I'm thinking of redoing it to refresh my skills. That's sick. Yeah, I'm about to hop back into the website development world. If not film photography, what do you think about VHS/DVD and other retro-looking video recording devices? I have some and think the feeling of it is amazing. You should try it. Yeah, I'm looking to hop back into it because I have this Panasonic camcorder that I haven't like booted up, and I've wired it straight into these TVs and used it as a little background thing, but I've never actually recorded directly on it. I think it records to a VCR or something. Like you plug it into a VCR, or maybe it loads it. I haven't figured out how to load a VHS in it. I don't know if it does that, but it also plugs into the wall. I think it's intended to, I don't know what it's intended for actually, but if I can figure out a way to like battery backup it, record, that would be sick. And also I have another friend who records on like little Sony handy cams with like mini DV tapes. Such a cool look. Like it's actually, and like the one he has infrared, so he can shoot at night. It's like crazy zoom because the sensor's so small. It's like such a cool thing for like making little vlogs, or like vlog might be the wrong word, but like little documentary. Like I think the art of like home videos is kind of lost in the age of sharing everything. And I wish more people would make like videos that's just for you to share with your friends and family. And it's like, I think that stuff is awesome. And the VHS look just works so well for that. Had a Panasonic G6 when I started to film. Came with a 14-140 with image stabilization. That thing was a beast for what it was for the price. Yeah, it's super underrated. Site is called Code Academy. Interesting. I will check it out. F5.6 doesn't work for night photography. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Could be useful to get like a 50 millimeter f2 or f1.8, some prime that's a bit brighter, especially since it's APS-C. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to talk out of my ass too much, but I'm pretty sure the whole full frame is better in low light than APS-C thing is like largely a myth. And it actually has more to do with sensor density, like the ratio of megapixels to the size of the sensor has more to do with it than the sensor size itself, but I'm not sure. But I'm an APS-C advocate all day. I love APS-C mostly because vintage lenses adapt to it so much better for weird like 16 millimeter formats and stuff. You don't have to crop as much. Been loving your content. Love the whole aesthetic that you create. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Lots more coming. Every Tuesday next year, I'm committing. And if I miss a Tuesday, which I won't, you can, I don't know, make fun of me a lot. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video at the start of the year that's like this backup video. It's like, yeah, I failed this week. Like something that I don't want to put out, but that will go up if I don't publish a video on a Tuesday. So it like gives myself stakes where it's like, if I don't get a video done by Tuesday, this thing's coming out instead. And, you know, I don't think that's like the most sustainable way to do something forever, but like in getting a channel off the ground, I do think consistency is really important. And so like as an experiment for the year 2024, like actually committing to, there will be a video Tuesday no matter what. I think it would be a huge thing. Long gone are the days of America's Funniest Home Videos. I used to watch that all the time. So good. Now you just have like Ridiculousness or whatever that other show is. Or just World Star. You can use FPV drone DVD to record on vintage cams without tapes. I've seen that. I actually want to get one. They seem like super cool, and you can make like a little rig to record with those. I'm very interested in that. Should have batteries. I bought a VHS camera for like $15 that didn't have batteries, so I took a battery from a drill and wired it up. That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what voltage it is. If I could wire a 12-volt Milwaukee battery or a 20-volt DeWalt or something. Don't want to fry it, but it did come with like a big battery, but I can't figure out how to mount it. I think it's like it looks like a tiny like boat battery or something. It's like this big. I think it's 12 volt. Killing it, man. Thank you, Trent. Good to see you again. You're definitely update. I'm committing to the, now that I don't have a job and I'm approaching this thing full time, I swear the injection mold thing is 100% happening, before Adepticon as well. That's going to be one of the first things I approach in the new year when I come back from, I'm going to be in Michigan for the holidays, but when I come back, those first couple weekly videos, I need to cut through my backlog of projects that I've filmed but haven't edited. So there's going to be a couple little things, fixing little things here and there. And then it's all in on this new like tabletop game project, which is going to fuel so much content of like silicone casting, injection molding, all this stuff. So that's coming up. You should definitely get to it. It's amazing. I will look into it for sure. Size of pixels does matter, but the amount of light let in matters more. APS-C lenses let in one stop less light than a full frame lens of the same aperture would. People say that, but I'm not sure that's true. I don't know. I'm not going to go debating it because I don't actually know. But like, say this lens, right? This 50 millimeter f2 that meant for full frame cameras. If you put it on a full frame camera, it's going to be, a certain level of brightness that you'll experience on that image. But if you put it on an APS-C camera, the lens isn't doing anything different. It's still projecting the same amount of light. It's the same lens. It's just that you're only seeing the very center part of it. So like, if you're saying like that there's more light because there's more image around the outside, I guess that's true. Like the total amount of light that's being introduced into the image is more. But if you were to crop it down, like if you were to take that full frame camera and put it in APS-C mode, the amount of light, the brightness exposure is going to be exactly the same between the two because the lens isn't changing. But I don't know. Mine was 12 volt. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to try that out. The camera also, I'm surprised it works at all because I had it stored I used to live in the cellar of an old building and one of the pipes burst last winter and flooded everything. So some of my possessions are very corroded and destroyed. Luckily, I pulled out my Magic the Gathering collection. That would have been entirely destroyed, but I'd pulled out the Magic the Gathering collection like 2 weeks before the flood happened because I was going to play over the holidays, and then over the holidays, the basement flooded. That would have been terrible. But anyway, this camera was one of the things that got flooded, and somehow it still works. But I'm not sure if that big 12 volt battery is like corroded or screwed up now. John, what's up in the chat? I'm going to watch Pocket Camera and Lens Repair very soon. Excited to watch. Hell yeah. Yeah, when you're home next week, we'll binge some stuff. Miss Cass, hell yeah, I'll 100% be there. Sick. Yes, it's coming. Hi, hello, Scoriolus, however you say your name. What's up? Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay. Yeah, so in the respect of more image, I guess. It is true. Okay. The Discord, for those of you that are interested, officially launching later. In the next main channel upload, I'll talk about it. But for those of you, the real ones that are here during the live stream, Discord exists now at the request of all of you. I'm going to show, a bit about it. The stuff that I've added so far. Boom. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. So what we have here in the Discord, there's like 15 people in here now. So we have this tab for uploads. I set this up. It works now that I've confirmed as of this live stream. It automatically sends updates. So when you join, you can select to either, get upload pings or stream pings or both if you want that. But don't have to. Announcements, there's nothing in there yet. The rules channel. The rules channel is just this 10 forbidden practices in the workshop by Van Neistat. That is all. Obviously, no meme spam, no NSFW stuff, just be normal. And I will kick people. I'm not past that. So if you're being a dick, you're out, Go to channels and roles to access your custom roles. So this is one of the coolest things that they added that you can do now, which I was not even familiar with this being a feature. I didn't know you had a Discord. Joined it now. Yeah, this is the first time I'm putting it up. So this is just the early access for the real ones that are in the stream. But yeah, again, announcing it for real later, but we're just going to do a little test run, see what the people in there are, all of you that join, what kind of stuff you're looking for, because I can modify things and all that. But this is really cool that they added this in Discord, because they're trying to make Discord more of like a community thing, right? community management. So if you click up here to channels and roles, you can select stuff. So this is where you put notifications, uploads, streams, what you want to get pinged for. And that will give you a notification from this channel whenever a stream or a video goes live. This, your preferred mediums, I have this set up. If you have any requests for other things that need to get added in here, let me know. But it's just all kinds of various maker things that I think people in my community could be interested in. So, cameras, wood, metalworking, automotive, 3D CAD, electronics, paint/digital art, writing, audio, music, software, graphics, animation, tabletop games, and video games. So you can click these. It doesn't do anything, like it doesn't give you exclusive access to anything. Although at some point I could make that like channels that like there's an exclusive video game channel that you can hide if you're not part of this, if you didn't select this role, or you can see it. So I could make it customized, but for now, all of the Makerspace channels are just public. So the useful thing about this is you can select, whatever you're into, and people can see it. So like if I click on somebody, Lazy Box has selected almost everything, which is dope. I think I probably would select everything as well. So you can see like whoever you're talking to, what kind of stuff they're into or what they have experience with. So like Lyndon, cameras, electronics, writing, audio, music, video games. And so you can see, other people in the community, like what they're interested in, because the whole goal of this the whole goal of this community and what I'm doing here is when I post a camera video, I love seeing the comments from people that are like, oh, I feel this way about this project that I did with my drone or something. And so it's like, it's not about the subject specifically. It's about, the ethos and the journey behind making things in general. So I'm trying to attract a wide audience of people that are into all sorts of stuff. So to accommodate that, that's sick. Almost everybody's doing it. So you can click on like what stuff you're interested in. So you know who you're talking to, and you can find people that are interested in the same stuff or interested in something you have a question about. It's sick. So I'm excited about that and excited to see that people are doing it. Also in channels and roles, you can pick a custom username color just because, I don't know. I always like being able to have a little extra bit of self-expression. What are people saying in the chat? Just joined. Hell yeah. Yeah, people are joining. What am I interested in? Cameras, wood, metal, automotive. Honestly, I've dabbled in all of these, so I could select all of them. I'll leave it at that for now, but I'll add more later. Just add drones. Yeah, drones could be its own. I've actually had like a weirdly large amount of like people in the comments that are like, and not even just repeat names, but like different people that are into drone stuff, which is super cool. I guess where would that fall into currently? Cameras, if you're into like FPV, like filming, electronics. Yeah, drones could be its own category. I was talking about FPV in your last stream. Yeah, I remember. And actually FPV stuff, like websites that sell like dedicated cables and stuff for FPV drones, have been actually huge for me in custom like camera rigging. I haven't posted any videos about it yet, but I'm experimenting with all kinds of stuff for making very compact camera rigs. Because usually, when you have HDMI cables, they stick out, they're big. I am messing around with this now. Like there's these little ribbon cables that you can get. Come on, focus. And you can put whatever heads on it you want, like different elbows. So I have this as a micro HDMI elbow to a HDMI elbow. So you can get like extremely low profile cords and cables Like I could build this into a cage, or like I could swap this HDMI male for an HDMI female and then build that into a cage so that I turn a camera with a micro HDMI port into one with a full HDMI port, so the cables are more reliable and don't wiggle around as much. And all of this is like FPV gear. There's similar stuff for like, you know, random display ribbon cables that I'm going to use for modding things. So actually, like, even though I've never owned a drone or messed with that, like, I like the community and the stuff that they have available and how open source everything is. It's pretty dope. Oh, hey, that's me up there. Hi, me. Hello. Good idea. Love the colored names. Yeah, I just like giving people control in ways that, like, I don't know. It's weird that people don't let you do, like, I stole a lot of stuff from Colin and Samir's Discord because they're actually partnered with Discord, like sponsored by Discord, and they're like helping, I guess, work out what a YouTube community on Discord looks like and all these new features and stuff. So this is how I saw the channels and roles thing. So they have a thing in their Discord of like, what's your primary platform? YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. And for them, when you click a role, it gives you a color. So like YouTube is gray, Twitch is purple. And so the chat just looks more boring because everybody has the same color, you know? And so I was like, why don't I just let people choose the color independently? So I did that. Let's see, what else was I saying? So yeah, hop in the Discord, select your stuff. The current channels that I have, and I'm totally open to, you know, talking on, hide me on YouTube. Yeah. Totally open to adding more stuff. This is just bare bones for now. Y'all in the stream are beta testers for sure. Totally open to all input. So right now I just have a general chat for whatever. Project talk, I guess those things are somewhat similar, but project is like just for anything DIY you're working on, general things. General chat's just for any, you know, whatever. Don't spam memes and stuff. A lot of Discords, I've been like studying other Discords, they have like a meme channel just to like let people spam stuff so that like the people who don't want it in general don't get it. Which like I might have to do, but we'll see. I think the audience here is probably not like, it would be different if it were like a gamer community that's like very meme focused and stuff, and like the culture of, you know, Twitch streams and stuff like that is very spammy. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's a different thing. And I don't think I'm going to experience that in here, but you know, if I have to, I'll make more dedicated channels. So project talk, just general projects. Camera talk. Oh, hell yeah, people are in here. This is the camcorder. Interesting. So it's just hooked up to a battery pack. Yeah, I wonder if... Yeah, mine has like a whole power supply box that I have to plug into. But I wonder if maybe I could mess with that and change it up. Yeah, this thing is sick. Damn. It's got the mic on it too. Yeah, that looks kind of similar lens, but I've never seen that brand before. That's cool. You can also use batteries for camcorders. Worked on my Handycam, but didn't on my VHS. Interesting. I recommend the drill battery tactic. I'll check it out. I love wiring up drill batteries to things they shouldn't be on. Recently, I blew up some airbags in my car because I removed the back seats from my car. It's like a truck bed now, just with like pallet wood back there. So it's a tiny SUV, but it's got like a 7-foot bed in the back because I removed the seats. And so the rear airbags, I wanted them out so that I didn't, you know, screw anything up loading wood back there or whatever, blow myself up. So I took those out and I blew them up with DeWalt batteries. Just like wired them up to like 25 feet of speaker cable and then just It was a little more underwhelming than I thought it would be. I think the side curtain airbags aren't as nasty as the front ones are. One day, I'll put in a whole roll cage, 5-point harnesses, so I won't need airbags anymore. Then I blow up the steering wheel, and when we were blowing up the airbags, we tried to put a log on top of one. Don't recommend this. Don't do this. We tried to put a log on top of one of the airbags and then blow it up to see if it could shoot. But yeah, the side curtain ones just aren't as directionally powerful as like the steering wheel one is. Daily drone carry. Ooh, with the little GoPro. What is that? Oh, wait, what kind of GoPro is that? I've never seen that before. Is it sideways? That's really interesting. Is it like a dedicated FPV GoPro? That thing is sick. Is that another camera? Very interesting. Yeah, so we already got stuff going on. Let's get some people in video feedback. So there's also car talk, video feedback. We'll feel these out over the next couple weeks as people join and see what's going on, what channels need to be modified or added or deleted or whatever. Video feedback. I don't know how many people in my community like make their own videos. I don't know. A big part of this whole Discord thing is just connecting with the community more and seeing like what people are interested in, I guess. Getting a sense, a finger on the pulse of like who y'all are and stuff. I don't know how many people in my community like make their own videos. So honestly, this is like partially just for me to be able to like, I don't know, for people in the Discord, I could post like an early draft of a video and be like, what do you think of this? I don't know how much I'm actually going to do that, but maybe for bigger projects. Or just like after they're posted, be like, hey, what did you think about the tone of this video? Like say the last one, which we're going to do the director's commentary again on the on the pocket camera and on the lens repair video. Like say the last one, I made that one. That was probably the quickest video I've made on the channel. Made it in like mostly one day. And so I'm curious like what people think of the tone of that video being like almost like a one that got away type project. Like it's an incomplete project. It's a different tone. It's much slower. I don't know. Just that's what the video feedback is. And so partially for me, partially just for anybody that wants to post their own video projects, I suppose. But I'm open to more channels, whatever people want to add. I'm down to add. Voice channels, I don't know how much people are actually going to use voice channels. There's this one, Stream VC, which is like a stage. This is a new thing that they added. So what I can do in here is I can start a stage, and it's like a voice chat, but you have to be like invited to be able to speak. And so what I can do here is like talk to people on stream. Like if I want to like have guests or something, or something like that. Like if we want to just chat about some project, I can have people pop into the Stream VC and like, literally talk face to face on about projects rather than interacting in chat. Something I want to experiment with. There's a streamer that one of my favorite content creators, Atrioc on Twitch. He does like a lot of marketing content, just business news and stuff like that. And he does a thing every once in a while in his stream where he'll pull people into a voice chat and just talk about, I think he calls it bring your streamer to work day. And so he just brings people in to talk about like your unique job. So he'll pull somebody in and it's like, I'm a submarine repairman. And they just talk about it. I don't know that my community is big enough to have like a lot of that kind of stuff. But like, there's how many people are? 23 people in here. Like there's so many interesting conversations I could have here. So I think that would be a really fun thing to do, especially if I end up streaming more. What's the chat saying? By the way, I'm French, so if my English is weird, sometimes it's normal. Yeah, no worries. A lot of people speak English on YouTube and still can't type. I'll drop some of my builds in the Discord, naked GoPros, etc. Hell yeah. Hey Evan, thanks for finally setting up a Discord community. Much appreciated. Currently I'm at school, so could not get to the stream earlier. Wish I had a drone to fly. Expensive. I think you can do some pretty budget FPV setup. Or yeah, I was just talking to Scotty about that in a stream earlier of like budget DIY kind of FPV drone setups. So that's for sure something that is doable. You should add a gear channel for talking about equipment and stuff. That's what, well, Camera Talk is for that, is for camera gear. But yeah, I guess if you're talking about general, like a DIY gear, I guess that would fit into Project Talk currently. But yeah, I'm down for that gear channel. Yeah. I'm just wondering how, I don't want to add too many channels and have a bunch of them be dead, right? So I'm thinking, I think for now that would fit in Project Talk, but I'm down to add a separate one because there's also Camera Talk for camera gear specifically. What's going on? Where am I? Who are you people? What's up? You're in a YouTube live stream, brother. You should add it. Okay. This is your mother. Get off your phone. Do you know this guy? What's up, Christian? How's it going? Home built deceased. What does that mean? I missed that. Sometimes it's difficult with a delay to remember what things were about. I think it's called a naked GoPro. Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen that, but so it has no monitor, I'm assuming, is the no monitor, no battery. So you wire it up to the drone power source. That's really interesting. Sony makes a similar thing, but it's like a full frame camera. And I think there's some similar Micro Four Thirds ones. Something very interesting. Bosch, is that a 12 volt for the camera? Super sick. 1000% can keep a budget or as crazy as you want. Hell yeah. So anyway, this is the Discord. Yo, I actually caught one of your streams. What's up? What is up? Video feedback. I'm just hanging out in the Discord now. Whoa. Bro, this is sick. Oh, dude, the graffiti is on point, too. Where is this? What city is this? This is dope. Sometimes I can tell if it's East or West Coast based on the graffiti names. I'm looking closely. Damn, that's dope. Those videos that come up on social media of like people diving through abandoned buildings and stuff. So sick. So sick. So yeah, I'll be hanging out here the next couple weeks, especially like I'm going to be away from home. It's sort of a soft launch right now. But I'm going to be away from home for the next week. So I won't be able to share much stuff going on in my studio, but it'll be a fun thing to just kind of outlet as we're all traveling for holidays and such. Detroit. Oh, sick. Detroit. I was just in Detroit a couple weeks ago for a Death Grips concert. I would like to spend more time there. Cool spot. Okay, so now I want to get into videos. The two videos that I have put up since the last stream. G9X and lens repair. Oh boy, which one of these is the final? RC2. Yeah, this is an interesting video. Definitely have some things to talk about on this one. Detroit, I live 4 miles away. Interesting. Yeah, I've got some family in like Ann Arbor area. Would like to go back. Oh, I just unplugged my headphones. Good. Okay, I'm going to how do I full screen this thing? Bruh. I'm gonna let this run for a second while I go pee. Go take a leak. I'm going to let this run, and then I'll come back and talk about some more about this video. It's muted, isn't it? I knew it. As soon as I left, I was like, oh boy, I forgot to turn the desktop audio back on. Sorry about that. 1 minute 23. Whoopsie. Streamer moment, yeah. L. Everybody spam L in the chat for that one. We need a Twitch chat in here. Everybody spam Pog. Sag. No sound. Yeah, whoopsie. What does a timeline of one of your videos look like? I can show you that. For sure. A lot of them have been very different. Because in the past couple of videos, I mean, the tone has stayed similar, but I am experimenting a lot with the way that I make the videos in general, the behind the scenes process. So let's pull up G9X, the pocket camera video. And let's see what this... Oh, I forgot. When I do this, it's going to lag my webcam, but we'll deal. So I can't actually play it in here because it'll lag out my webcam so bad. For some reason, OBS and DaVinci running at the same time is not good. Thank you for the L spam. I feel like a real streamer now. Yeah, so this is one of my timelines. It's usually structured fairly similar. Most of the work in my videos is in audio. I do audio first. Design, I guess. A lot of times, I will literally lay music, lay voiceover, and the screen will just be black, and I'll add it over. So I'll paste the video to my voiceover rather than pasting the voiceover to the video, but I switch it around. So it's usually pretty straightforward with project footage, B-roll, pretty standard up there. Down here in the audio, normal, and then channel 3 is always my voiceover. Sometimes I put a little bit of a compressor. I don't think I did it on this one. No, I didn't. Sometimes there's a bit of a compressor on the voice, just to make the audio levels. Sorry about that. Make the audio levels more consistent, because it is tough when you're doing voiceover to keep it. When you start your line, the typical intonation is being louder at the start of your sentence, but it's not a good listening experience when you're watching a video. So it's good to compress it and kind of mess with the levels a little bit, to bring down the louder moments. You see a little bit of keyframing in here and messing with stuff. And then channel 4 and 5 are usually just music that'll, fade down when I'm talking over it. Oh, see, there's the... You see that? You see what just happened to my webcam? That's what happens when I open DaVinci on stream. Yeah. Do you do audio solely in DaVinci or any software like Pro Tools? No, just straight in DaVinci most of the time. I need to start messing around with like a dedicated DAW for music, because I do some of the music production myself. If it's good, if it sounds good, it's probably Kaifo, this man that lets me use his music. Great guy. Go buy his stuff on Bandcamp. Episodes in Oceanography, very good to work to. So if it sounds like really good and complex, it's probably him. But if it sounds simple, it's probably me. But I need to like start using an Ableton or FL Studio or something to make my tracks, rather than just recording straight into DaVinci Timeline. Sup, man? Really appreciate the content. Thank you very much. Yeah, the audio, straight in DaVinci. Yeah, pretty much. Just record voiceover straight into it, and I'll even plug my synth straight into the Focusrite audio interface and just record it right into the timeline. So, yeah, sometimes throw a little reverb on the audio and stuff like that. Okay.
iPhone is something.
Let me know if the audio works now. My bad for letting the stream run for a full minute with no audio on the video. It works. Sick. Are you using any plugins for your mic? On the stream, I do. On the stream, it's just OBS compressor. So like when I'm talking here, it's a certain volume. But like when I talk back here, it shouldn't get that much quieter in theory. So that like when I'm moving around on stream, it's not as big of a deal. But no plugins usually. Sometimes I'll EQ it a little bit. But most of the time I don't. So maybe a little EQ, maybe a little compressor. But sometimes that's mostly just to make it sound consistent with like whatever I record first. I want all the other voiceover lines to sound matched to that. So like, if my voice dries out through the day or something like that, if I do a full day of voiceover or something and my voice is like more hoarse at the end of it, maybe I'll EQ it a little to get it to sound nicer. Yeah, I've done a little music also, but none of it's professional. I mainly use Beatbox. I've not heard of Beatbox, but yeah, mine is not professional either. I'm just literally recording straight into timeline. But anyway, G9X video.
iPhone is something I try to use as little as possible. And like a lot of people, I'm constantly experimenting with
So this music is not me. This is Kaifo.
ways to use it less. I've fallen in love with carrying a pocket notebook to replace the Notes app for journaling and ideas, and more recently, I've been carrying a little point and shoot to replace the camera app.
Shout out to the point and
This
shoot.
Canon PowerShot was a 14th birthday gift from my parents, and I've basically been using it ever since.
So this one shoots in 1920 by 1080 quality.
I love that I found that clip. I did when I first got this camera, I was trying to do YouTube stuff. I never posted any of it publicly, but I made a bunch of videos on my iPod Nano, which was like 480p or 360p or something. And this video was where I was reviewing the point and shoot that I got. So I made a little review, and then I made a tripod review, which is so funny to watch back because it's just me being like, yeah, so there's this a plate, you put it in, and then there's you can extend the legs, and I'm just explaining what a tripod is. Who is this useful to? But it taught me video editing, so it was worthwhile.
But as
I also own the pod mic. Are you using a FET head or a cloud lifter? Yes, I have a FET head. Otherwise, the noise is a little nasty. Yeah, FET head, cloud lifter, basically the same thing, I think. I kind of wish I'd bought the cloud lifter, the one that's 2x2, so I could run a second one, so I can do a little podcast or something. But actually, let's see if this works. I just got these puppies. I found a really good deal on some Shure SM58s. Yo, does this work? Why am I not hearing myself anymore? Did I unplug myself? Testing. No, it works there. Interesting. Not sure if this works. But anyway, I have these now. which don't need a cloud lifter or anything. So maybe do some little podcast things on that. I don't know, experimenting. I love how cinematic your videos look like. Thank you.
Much as I love it, this little camera isn't all that I'd like it to be. As a daily pocket camera, it's not the best. It is small, but it has very short battery life.
It wasn't that hard to I needed a clip of it dying, and that wasn't that hard to get. All you have to do is put it in HD, because this camera does record at full HD. You just put it in HD and it dies in like 5 minutes. It dies so fast when you put it in full quality. Print the housing for them to turn them into budget SM7Bs. That's kind of a funny idea. Yeah. I do like the handheld mic though. I'm recording a video, probably the video that's going to come out on January 2nd, that Tuesday, for the first establishing the Tuesday streak for 2024. That first video is going to be like my most used tools of 2023. Just talking about some, stuff around the studio that I find helpful, various DIY tools and camera gear and stuff. Kind of just a lower pressure, more raw video than I usually do. It's just kind of a year summation, top 12 most used tools in 2023 or whatever. And for that, a handheld mic like this is actually, I think, going to be really useful. So it'll just be me going around the studio talking. Basically no voiceover in that video, so it's going to be pretty different, but whatever. I'm experimenting. Club going up on a Tuesday. Hell yeah. Every Tuesday.
Sensor, bad and low light. So for my daily carry, in comes another Canon point and shoot. But of course, before using it, I need to make it my...
Yeah, so I never voice over this directly, but big old dent. I got this thing for way cheaper than it should have been. Don't remember what I paid for it, actually. I want to say it's like a $400 or $500 camera, and I paid like $250 for it because it was all dinged up. So I just slammed that dent down.
Repairs and modifications.
Which is kind of jank. Just hammering it down with a screwdriver and then crushing it in a vise. But
most of my cameras have some sort of a cage. These provide extra mounting points for various...
The A6600 with... I was messing around with a vintage lens at that point. That's a 28 to 55. I got that lens for like $10.
Accessories like microphones and tripod plate.
The Sennheiser MKE 200. I love that mic. I'm so annoyed because I was filming B-roll for this video right before I left last week. Yeah, you can get the G9X for dirt cheap. Not as cheap as you think. The G7X, they made way more of them. The G9X is not... I guess it's dirt cheap compared to... Didn't it retail for like $700 or something? So you can get them for like half off now, I guess. But for a pocket camera, $300-400 was still more than I wanted to spend, and I ended up getting it for like $220, something like that. But yeah, I was filming the B-roll for this, and I had the mic on it, and then I forgot the mic when I traveled, and I kind of needed that. So I was so annoyed watching this clip back. So I was like, oh, I need that with me, but I forgot it because I put it on for this clip. MK200 is one of the best shotgun mics out there. It really is so small, so compact, and it doesn't require a battery like the MKE 400 or 600 does. It's really a happy medium.
They can also provide extra weight and grip for smaller
EOS M
camera
Cameo.
bodies.
There'll be another video on the EOS M eventually, actually fixing it for real instead of the jank fix.
In the case of the pocket camera, I don't want to add too much size, but
I also don't want too many camera videos. Like, I know that the last 2 videos on my channel now are camera videos because that's just kind of the season I'm in right now. Like, I'm just, the main project I'm working on, like the overarching plot of the channel is streamlining video production to be making these more. So naturally there's a lot of camera projects, but like I don't I don't want it to be a camera channel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to split those apart. What's your opinion of the Sony ZV-E 10? Sony naming is so strange. The ZV-E 1 and the ZV-E 10 are, they get mixed up in my mind. The ZV-E 10, that's the full frame one? No, that's the APS-C one. I don't know. I don't know a lot about it. But for $600, I think it's one of the better. I would, well, yeah, I don't know enough about it to talk on it, but I would be partial to picking up like a used A6600 over it, but I don't really know enough to speak on it. Camera videos are super nice, IMO. Yeah, I do like them. Like it's a lot of fun to work on cameras, especially like so much of like camera YouTube culture is like just buying stuff, rigging out your camera by purchasing a bunch of things. And I like to kind of celebrate and promote the DIY rigging. So I like it, but I don't want to make my channel like marketed as a camera channel, you know? Have you tried crop mood on the ESM? Yeah, I have actually. On the original video on it, it was shooting in Magic Lantern, or what's it called? Yeah, Magic Lantern. I was shooting like 2.5K raw or whatever, but it was so buggy. And then just the other week, I updated it to crop mood, and that is like, it's so clean. And you can run like an external monitor on it, but now where like before that was so buggy it didn't work. So yeah, definitely an update video coming on the ESM of rigging it out more and permanently fixing it. And crop mood makes it like actually totally a usable camera. I haven't tested clean HDMI out yet, but I would like to experiment with it for even, stream B cam, stuff like that. We like camera projects just like $0 camera rig with 85K views. Yeah, I guess I can't talk too much because my biggest video is a camera video. But I don't want to get pigeonholed, is what I'm saying, as like a DIY. I want to be able to make a video that's like making an injection molding machine or making a desk and not have people totally tune out because they want camera videos, And it's just the community that I'm trying to build. Is not exclusively camera people. Not that there's anything wrong with it or whatever. It's just not the niche that I'm not trying to niche down to that specifically. I have the ZV-E 10. It's a pretty good camera, great video, and the photo's great. Hell yeah. I'm a Sony APS-C guy for sure. FX30 and A6600, they're great. I don't understand full frame people shitting on APS-C so much. APS-C is dope. I like it more for adapting vintage lenses that are meant for like 16 millimeter, stuff like that. I'd love to get an M to play with, but refuse to spend 200 plus on one right now. Yeah, fair. It's funny that they've gone up and like I bought mine 10 years ago or something. Wait, 10 years? Damn, 2014 was almost 10 years ago. It was probably 2015. But anyway, like 8 years ago, and I got it for like 120 or something. And now they're 200, 250. How did you learn video editing? Because I really like your style. How did I learn video editing? Basically, by doing this junk.
So this one shoots in
when I was 14. Just talking to myself, talking to cameras. Make a ton of videos that you don't even publish. That's the long and short of it. Get good in private, like the art of like, or no, not even an art, but like the practice of getting good at things in private, I think is underrated now in the days of social media and sharing everything. Which I guess maybe that's a little silly to say because my entire channel is about getting good at things and sharing that. But like, if you're self-conscious about not being good on camera or good at video editing, like there is no harm in just making something sharing it maybe with some friends who will give you objective feedback, and just, you know, I don't know. I don't know that I have any advice to give other than just, you know, do it. You'll learn everything by doing, basically. Pick a program, stick with it. DaVinci's free. DaVinci's awesome for a free program. I have an Adobe subscription, and I switched from Adobe to DaVinci. DaVinci is sick. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I have any intense advice today on how to get good at video editing, but just do it. Try stuff. Because I really like your style. Interesting. I guess for my style specifically, audio first is the approach that I would like. Edit to music, even if it's not like the final track you're gonna use. Like sometimes I will edit my videos while just playing ambient music in the background, not even like having it in the timeline. Like I'm not editing to the music that's gonna be final. I'm just editing to ambient music to get myself to understand the pace and not stress too much about editing fast. Like the kind of music that you're editing to can really change the tone of what you're editing, you know? Just like how much you're stressing about retention and pace.
Quality camera with good battery life, why don't you just use your phone? Well, I want something that matches.
This was such a mess. This stuff was so much more flexible than I wanted it to be. So it's kind of hard to drill holes in it and stuff.
As my other cameras, not the auto-enhanced phone footage. A similar experience to my bigger cameras. Something I can just spend an afternoon shooting on for fun. And as it happens, in the middle of this project, that opportunity presented itself when a nail through my tire stranded me.
There's a tire
Getting a
shop.
tire patched right now.
Yeah, this was like 2 days after I bought the camera. I don't know if it actually happened in this order in real life. I think I started the cage like the day after this happened. So as I'm shooting out here, it doesn't have a cage on it. But I kind of paced it that way so that the video didn't start with this, you know.
So I have about an hour to kill just walking around with this new camera. This is the perfect example of how the portability.
Just filming construction equipment. That's like my favorite pastime, is just filming industrial things.
Is like a huge benefit, because I just happened to have this in my pocket. I wouldn't have had a camera otherwise.
It's very on brand.
It works out pretty nicely. Now I have something to do while I wait for the tire patch. As I was walking around this random suburb grabbing shots, I was kind of surprised with how fun it was.
You can also tell how this happened in August, July, something like that. I bought the camera a while ago and I made the cage, and then I daily carried it for like 4 months before making this video because I really wanted to gather my thoughts on it instead of like pumping something out immediately. The Digicam craze has made all these tiny cams jump in price. Interesting. Yeah, I know that's definitely true for like I was looking up the PowerShot I have, like the crappy little camera I got for my 14th birthday. Probably paid, I don't know, $80, $60 for it back then, like 10 years ago, and now it's worth just as much, or maybe $100. It's kind of crazy.
I used to just spontaneously shoot stuff all the time when I was a kid. When a point and shoot was all I had, I didn't even have a phone. There's some magic to this that I've never felt with a phone camera. Alright, so I'm currently on the rooftop of some random university.
I had a bunch of footage from inside this university. I was like, I don't know if I should share that. Like, should I use B-roll from inside this place? I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's just an open campus and it was cool for me to be in there, but I don't know.
That I've never been to. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here, but I've got a nice view of the tire repair shop my car's at. So I should be able to see when it's done and run back over there. Having a camera on you at all times is not like a novel concept anymore in the age of smartphones, but it's not as special, it's not as fun. I've got an hour to kill, and it wouldn't have even crossed my mind to just go out and shoot stuff on my iPhone. But Since I have this thing in my pocket, it turns it into a fun thing. Hey, it survived for a whole 10-minute clip.
Yeah, me even using that clip is like kind of experimenting at a little bit of a slower pace on this one, constantly experimenting with like how raw I want things to be. But yeah, the whole conversation of digital, there's a whole clip in there that I did cut. It was about just the visual like language of what camera you're holding. It was like a 2-minute clip, so I couldn't include it really, but talking about like if you're hanging out with people, like a big use of the pocket camera is like capturing candid moments as you're like hanging out with your friends or whatever. If you use a phone, like the implication of that, like as you're holding a phone camera, is like this is for social media or something. Like if you film somebody with a phone, they're assuming like, oh, this is going on an Instagram story or something, or Snapchat or whatever. If you're filming with like a big camera, like a camera with a big old lens on it or something, people assume like, oh, this is a production or this guy's a YouTuber or something. So shooting on a big camera isn't candid either. And so like a little digicam is this weird happy medium of like when somebody has a little digital pocket camera pointed at you, like you don't think about anything. It's like the most candid way to record a moment outside of maybe like a little GoPro or something. Yeah, it's just fun, and it sets the tone of whatever you're filming. Yeah, those were my extra thoughts on there that got cut.
Since I have this thing in my pocket, here we go. Returning to my studio, I continued the work on the custom cage. First up is the main plate, which will provide some structure for the battery holster to mount onto. I didn't really know what I was doing here. I've never soldered copper before.
Yeah, that was such a pain. 'Cause to get the copper to adhere, to like stick, or to get the solder to stick to the copper, you have to like have the point heated. And to heat that point, because the thing is basically a giant heat sink, you have to heat the entire piece. And so it was really hard to get the solder to melt here without also melting all of the other joints that you've already made. Looking back at it, I think the correct way to do it is soldering each piece individually. Like, so say for this line, I take these two pieces apart and run some solder along this edge of this curved piece before joining them at all. So it's almost like applying glue to two pieces of wood before sticking them together. So I think if I had done that, and then when I join the pieces, I'm just joining the solder to the solder rather than trying to join the piece to the solder to the piece. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would have worked a lot better for heat management. Jamie, loving your stuff so much, man. Keep being amazing. Thank you. I will do that. Lots more coming for sure. Every Tuesday next year.
I found hitting the piece with a heat gun helped get things flowing.
Also, again, for anybody who just hopped in, we were talking about the Discord earlier. Sort of an early soft launch through the holidays. I'm sure it won't be that crazy, but as I'm starting to get into the schedule of videos every Tuesday, streams every Thursday next year in 2024, the Discord will be very active, sharing things, talking with other people about your hobbies, what you're making, sharing stuff. So the link to that Discord is in the description of this stream and will be officially launched as well in a video coming up. Probably the video on January 2nd, the first Tuesday. Planning on building another camera rig including wood? Yes, for sure. I think multiples actually. Yeah, I would have used wood on this, but I like working with wood way better. It's just that wood for something as small and low profile as this didn't work as well. So I was experimenting with metal. But for the next, which camera rig video will be next? Modified action camera will probably incorporate some wood. Yes, there will be multiple camera rig videos, including wood, in the future. Some probably in the next month.
I don't know how you're actually supposed to do this, but in any case, I got a solid joint. I just had this stuff laying around and figured it might be good for this application. With a better setup and more practice...
This is so janky, this series of clips. Me bending a corner with a vise. It's like not a good way to do it, because it's like angular, like the edge is not a straight corner.
I'm sure I could make some nice stuff out of copper.
And then I do that. Oh. I had to include the clip for like reference of like what's happening, but it was so janky, and I'm surprised I didn't get any comment. There were some comments. Like, I always try to predict, like, okay, what are the people going to be annoyed about that I did wrong? And usually I'm pretty good at predicting it, but I did not predict it correctly this time. I thought this was such a terrible mess of a job.
But I'm treating this project as a bit of a proof of concept for future
But hey, it looks square in the end, so screw it. Are you active on many other social media? No, I have an Instagram that some people have found. It's just Evan Monsma. You can follow it. But every year I do a challenge to myself of like 2 years ago I was quitting caffeine. This year, quitting Instagram. So I used to use Instagram a lot, but this year I archived everything and just doing a 1 year experiment of like, how much different is my life if I don't use Instagram? How much less do I, scroll and all that junk? So I don't use Instagram right now, but in 2024 maybe I will come back to that. I just don't know how much I would actually use it. Like, I think if I want to share like projects and like talk about that, I want to talk about them, so like the Discord would be the place for that. And like Twitter's going to shit. There's just not any other social medias that are really interesting to me aside from Discord. So, I mean, the Discord is the place for me right now. Yeah.
Projects like this, I'll probably just use steel. I think soldering is a lot harder than welding when your product is basically a giant heat sink. But in any case, I was making progress, and before long, I was ready to fuse my cage with the battery holster. After applying a lot of flux, a lot of heat...
The flux actually helped a lot. And I didn't use any clips in this video, but also like sanding the copper down. Sand the copper down, put some flux on.
Heat,
and it worked way better. And then I kind of got into a flow towards the end of it of like sand, flux, heat the shit out of the thing, and then solder to actually make the joint. I've been trying to shake my addiction, my Instagram habit. I've never really picked up many, but I'm struggling to kick the habit since I have an Instagram-based art project. Yeah, it's tough. Like, I used to have a business Instagram for a different thing that I would run where I would post. I had to post the images that I was making and all that stuff for the business. And that, it was harder to keep off of it. But like right now I've just kind of not introduced it as something that is part of like this community that I'm trying to grow or whatever. So it hasn't like fallen back into my life as much. But yeah, it's tough, especially for like art-based stuff where it is like image-based. Like it's kind of like a thing that it's a necessary evil, right? It's all about just managing it in a way that is the least toxic to yourself as possible. The desktop app for Instagram actually isn't that bad. I think the only disadvantage though is you can't post stories from desktop, which is unfortunate. But I've tried to use that sometimes as well.
A lot of solder. I had my completed metal thing.
It looks so rough. So rough. I was so done with it at this point. I was like, all right, it's solid. It will not fall apart. I don't care that it looks like trash. And I don't know. I kind of like it. It looks like some, I don't know, Star Wars spaceship, something like kind of rusty, weird. I kind of like it rough. This like dented, crappy thing. But I knew like some people were going to be like, yo, this looks like shit. Which I actually didn't get any comments like that. The only negative comments I got on this video were people being like, oh, you put a battery into a thing made out of copper. Bruh, you're going to light your pocket on fire or something, which like, you know, coming from a nice place, I guess, but also like, I don't think that's not going to happen. How is that any worse than just like carrying the battery in your pocket separately? Like, it's actually more shielded now than it would be if I just had a battery in my pocket. And I've never heard of like anybody carrying a spare camera battery in their pocket, having it light on fire. I don't even know, like, if you touched your keys to it, like if I literally touch my keys to a tiny little, whatever it is, 3.6 volt battery, is it gonna light a fire? I don't know.
And with that modification,
And it doesn't touch the copper anywhere. This adds extra shielding to make it touch less things. So.
my new little Canon point and shoot becomes a part of my everyday carry. And now, all that's left is to give it its first proper test.
That piece to camera was the last thing I recorded for the video, and it was such a rush of like, I was leaving that day. I had like an appointment that I had to meet. It was 4 hours away, and so I'm like rushing to like get the last B-roll for this video at the same time as like getting the last voiceovers and piece to cameras. So I did all that morning, and then drove back to Indiana, and then assembled the thing, which is why it came out on a Thursday instead of a Tuesday. But yeah, that was a very rushed piece to camera. I like the idea of a battery holder as a camera grip. Yeah, and the sick thing is like, I don't know why more cages or whatever don't do that, but like the sick thing is because the lens sticks out already, this adds like less than a centimeter to the overall thickness of the thing. So when I have this battery holster on, it doesn't feel any more cumbersome in my pocket than it does without it, right? And actually, I didn't even mention it in the video, but a big part of this was like, I was going to just make a wood grip just because I wanted the camera to be thicker. Because it was like, without this grip on it, my hand would naturally go into a weird spot that didn't feel comfortable. And also the big difference between this camera and the old point and shoot I was using is that this one's touchscreen. So I would hold it like this, and I would be touching the touchscreen all over. And so you'd be like getting it to focus off into random directions and changing settings. And so adding some thickness actually allowed me to like hold it in a way that I'm not constantly mashing the touchscreen. So I was going to do that anyway, and then I was like, wait, I could just add a battery there. Because also like a big limitation with the other point and shoot was that the battery dies so quick, especially when you're recording HD. And then I kind of decided to do this before I'd even used the camera that much. And then in this video, like in the scene where I'm out shooting while my tire's punctured, I kind of realized like, oh, the battery life isn't actually that much of an issue on this camera. Even though it's like the same milliamp hours, it's so much more efficient that this battery just doesn't die that quick. So it was actually less of an issue than I thought it would be. And the battery holster is more of a grip thing than an extra battery thing, but it has saved me sometimes in the past, having an extra battery on hand. That's fair. I've modified Instagram to remove the reels. It's a lot less distracting. Interesting. Is that an Android thing that you were able to like hack in, or? That's kind of awesome. Seems the best place to actually store the spare battery. Yeah, for sure. The original concept for this was actually going to be physically cutting. I checked the G9X, like inside this battery door, between where this battery sits and the front metal body of the camera, there's no circuit boards. So you could cut a hole through the front of this camera where this battery holster is. You could cut a big hole, and the camera would function perfectly fine. So my original idea was actually to mod it to work on a higher milliamp hour battery so that it ran like longer. But that would have had so many like complicated electrical implications of like, there's all these limiters in it of when it's charged, when it's done charging, and you know, it would have been complicated. But physically it would have worked in that you could cut that hole and wire them together. So that would have been interesting. But then when I realized the battery life wasn't actually that much of an issue on this camera, I was like, nah, I'll just keep it as a spare. I have a Canon R10, but I would like a pocket camera. Yeah, pocket cameras are sick. Doesn't even have to be a good one necessarily. I picked up an Insta-X Mini over the summer. That's like the Polaroid type thing, right? My first non-phone camera, and I've been loving designing modifications and custom lenses for it. Makes me want a real point and shoot now. That's sick. Insta-X Mini. Is that an instant camera? Ooh. Oh, it's a Fujifilm. Interesting. Does it like print? Oh, it does print. This is dope. Okay, I gotta look into this camera actually, because I've been thinking recently about more like pocket camera things, and yeah, instant film camera, they're super cool. You should look into getting one. Yeah. So I was just thinking the other day, I didn't know if this existed or not, like a pocket instant camera. But now that I do, I'm going to do some research on it. Because what I'm thinking is, actually, what this camera replaces my phone for is like video. So, you know, in my videos, say I'm out at Home Depot grabbing some, you know, bolts or something, and I get a shot while I'm out there. I'm not taking my big camera in. That's just this. So this is to get on-the-go shots that match well enough for making videos and also just recording fun, candid moments. The other thing I use this for is I use it as a voice memo. So like whenever I'm like driving around and I have a random idea of like, oh, this is how I want to say this in a video. And usually it's when I'm driving and I can't write in a pocket notebook, or when it's too long of an idea to write down as fast as my thoughts are going. I'll just turn this on and use it as a voice memo. But the other thing that I don't feel like this has replaced as much is photo, like archival photo. Like when I just take a picture of some like cool, I don't know, rusty pillar or something, I'm like, this is cool. I want to keep this in my scrapbook type, you know, inspiration thing. This doesn't replace that as much because I have to switch it into photo mode, or I just record a video clip of it and then it's not as simple of a thing. And my iPhone I don't like for that either, because I take a picture and then it's just like, it's in my camera roll. What am I going to do with that? An instant pocket, like Polaroid type thing would be sick, because then I just take a picture of this thing that's like a little inspiration, or, you know, something that I like aesthetically, and then it prints it and I can just put it in my pocket notebook. Literal scrapbooking. I like that idea a lot more for photo. So that might be the first like dedicated photo camera that I get, is one like that. If you have more funds behind it, grab a Insta-X Mini Evo. Interesting. I don't make money right now, so I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to look into it anyway. Oh, this one's sick. Yeah, I'll look into this later as well. Okay. Top of the range with a bit better form factor. Yeah, if it's smaller, that's big. I've been numbering every photo I've taken with it so far, up to 32 now. That's sick. I love your videos. Want to take apart my Honda Civic after seeing your homemade console. Hell yeah, do it. You'll get weird looks at toll booths and drive-thrus. And whenever you get pulled over, the officer's going to be like, what's going on here? You have to make sure you don't have any drugs in the car, because they will think you're high. but it's so much fun. Part of the reason I tore out the dashboard in mine was, I don't know, I just liked it, but also like extra leg room. Like it actually feels so much more spacious in there, and I can have my seat moved farther. I can have the driver's seat moved farther forward while retaining leg room, and that gives me more space in the bed of the trunk because I took out all the back seats, so I can move like more lumbar. And it's actually like super sick. I have over 20,000 photos. Damn. Just wanted to say you've become a huge inspiration for me. Hope to see you reach 100K. Hell yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to making like 2024 predictions and goals and plan. I made a plan at the start of 2023, right? Of like what I wanted to do. Because I was working for a different YouTuber, and so I wasn't able to, do my videos full time as much as I wanted to. So my goal to myself for 2023 was I wanted to post 10 videos on my main channel, which is like in 2022, I posted 3, I was just doing it as a hobby. 2023, I wanted to post 10. That was my goal to myself. Like, okay, start amping this up to taking it seriously. And I was hoping to have, 1 or 2 of those take off a little bit. And for me at that time, when I'm making these goals, the videos are getting 50 views, 60 views. I had maybe 200, I maybe just crossed 200 subscribers. So I was like 10 videos. And I was making crazy stretch goals to my crazy stretch goal was by the end of the year, if I make 10 really good videos, I think I can be at 2,000 to 4,000 subscribers. That was my number. And here we are. I think I've made over 10 videos for sure. I think I've made closer to 15 videos, and I'm at 8 point something. So smashed my stretch goals. So, if I actually post a video every Tuesday, maintaining like a consistent quality and tone. If I actually post a video every Tuesday next year, 52 videos, I think 100K by the end of the year is possible. I mean, we're closing in on 10K already. So that might be the stretch goal. You should make a video starting 2024 with predictions. Yeah, possibly. I don't want to talk about numbers too much publicly, though. That seems a little ego-driven. I don't know. But maybe that's just me being self-conscious. I think the first video will be... I think I'm going to skip the 26th, Tuesday, because it's day after Christmas. I'm going to be out of town. The second will be my next video, and I think that one's going to be my most used tools in 2023. Will go up on January 2nd. Which will be an interesting one because it'll be much more raw than my normal stuff, not as story driven. It'll just be me kind of talking. 10K by January, you blew up recently. Possibly. I don't know if 10K by January is happening, but yeah, something like that. Yeah, because I've probably posted my last video for 2023 already. Skipping the 26th, so it'll be the 2nd. Okay, let's finish this video. I made this song. I don't know if it's good, but it's fun.
As I was out shooting, what this whole thing was about finally clicked. The ultimate pocket camera to replace my phone. It's not about quality. If I'm being real with myself, the iPhone...
Yeah, it's a little wonky. I had my colors set wrong and my exposure set wrong. It's hard to get shots like this where it's so dark and then the sky is so bright. But I love this shot. Like the birds flying around and the pink. And I didn't even amp this up that much. Like, this is color graded, but like this is pretty much what it looked like, which was so fortunate to have a kind of beautiful cloud arrangement for me to shoot that day. So as I'm going out and shooting, this is downtown Cleveland. This was like the 2 days before this video went live. So I made the whole cage and I shot on that flat tire like 4 months ago. And then I just sat on the camera for a bit. I was carrying it daily just to kind of assemble my thoughts on like what I actually thought about it. So I waited like 4 months to make the video. And then I went out and shot this and then made the video. And this was a lot of fun, just going out and shooting with it. You look like a younger William Osmond. That's an interesting one. Maybe. I don't know. I was just watching some more Osmond clips last night. Yeah. Maybe I'll burn my house down or something, and then I'll really be a you start doing laser cutting and stuff. Let's see. Get all your alt accounts a sub with them. Yeah. I do have a second channel that's like a bit of an alt. At some point, I'll have like an actual second channel. I just have one that I kind of shit post on right now. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, another channel for like, I kind of want to experiment with, when I move back to Indiana, I've got more like creative people around me, you know, people that I know, kind of a network. I would like to start a podcast. Maybe, I don't know. Everybody starts a podcast. It's kind of some sort of longer form content. Maybe it's just more live streams with guests on them. But some kind of longer form content I think would fit well with the audience that I'm trying to build. Because like I was thinking about this, I've been thinking about this a lot the past month or two. I don't actively watch YouTube that much. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I mostly watch like podcast clips and longer form content that I can kind of half pay attention, like passively watch while I'm making something. And so I think the fact that that's something that that's the main way that I use YouTube says that maybe my audience would appreciate that from me as well. So like some sort of longer form content that could be consumed passively while working, I think would be an interesting thing to try. So potentially a second channel as some sort of podcast type thing would be good. What's your second channel? It's called Bevman. It's just, I post things there every once. I don't officially link it. Bevman, Bevman. I don't officially link it on this channel anymore because I don't want it to like actually be viewed as a second channel. It's just like this is the channel that I was shit posting to in 2015, like in high school or middle school or whatever it was back then. So it's just a place that I'll always go to post random junk. What's your favorite project that hasn't gotten a video? That's a really good question. I guess I sort of made a video about this desk. It was more like a retrospective of like when I moved to Cleveland, setting up this desk after building it a year ago. This pallet wood wall thing, not really a project. Like it's not complicated. I screwed these two pallets together and turned them into this tool wall thing. But it's such like a dumb thing that makes me so happy. It adds so much to the set, I think, but I never made a dedicated video about it. What else? If we're talking long term, like the business that I ran through high school, like in my teenage years, I guess I made videos. There was a YouTube channel for that business, but I've never made like a retrospective video looking back on it, and I would like to do that. a video that will be coming. It's probably my favorite project. The first thing that came to my mind when you asked that is this modified action camera that can take C-mount and micro four thirds lenses. I recorded the whole process. That will get a video of this tiny camera with interchangeable lenses. So much fun. That will get a video eventually. Anything else? I don't know. I wish I made so many more videos when I lived in that cellar. There's one of the earliest videos on my channel is like I moved into an 1800. I dropped out and moved into an 1800 cellar. It wasn't a very good video. No, I wasn't that good at like talking to cameras back then, but it was like edited well, I guess. And I wish I'd made so many more videos back then, but you know, you do what you can, and at least I'm making videos now because in a different world, I could have seen myself moving out of this apartment and being like, damn, this was cool. I wish I made more videos here. But I actually did it this time. I actually did make the videos. So, that thing looks sick. Hell yeah. The action camera. Yeah. It's cooler in concept than it is in practice because the action camera it shoots like 5.3K, which is dope. So it's like this tiny camera that gets really good looking footage. But the bad thing about it is the stabilization is terrible because if you put a longer focal length lens on it, it's trying to do like wide angle stabilization. So the edges warp because it's correcting for fisheye. So that screws it up. So stabilization's terrible. You got to use it on a tripod basically, which ruins the point of having a tiny camera anyway. It's still cool as hell, but and then also the UI on that camera just kind of leaves some things to be desired, and the white balance, the auto white balance is bad, and the manual white balance doesn't let you change the tint from pink to green. It just lets you do color temperature. So all my video comes out super pink. So yeah, it leaves some stuff to be desired, but the project was so much fun, and just the thing as an object is really good, really fun. Van Neistat did a similar video, and I know people are going to comment like, oh, you're ripping off Van modifying a action camera. He just bought the pre-modified one. I got the kit and did it myself. Not that there's anything wrong with buying the pre-modified one, but also I did mine before. I did this project like a full year ago. But I know there's going to be comments of people being like, you ripped off Van Neistat. I concur. I have about 8 tiny channels that I just post to that I keep separate in case I grow one. Yeah, I've got a lot of little channels. I've got there's so many of them. I had one channel that there was only one video on, and it was it got like 20,000 views or something, which is pretty funny. Just this throwaway channel with one video on it that was bigger than anything I'd ever made at that before. So I was kind of psyched when the $0 camera rig video on this channel broke 20K, because then I was like, yes, I finally broke the record of this other shit video that I put up on a different channel. It was just a clip from a Twitch live stream that I reposted. What else? Action cams have always been up there on my wish list. I skate lots and always see people doing cool stuff with them. Yeah. I've my buddies skate, and I've done some filming for them, and that was like so much fun, filming them doing tricks and stuff. Love action cam mods. Hell yeah. So you're carrying little notebook and little pocket camera to replace those functions on the phone, but do you have your phone always with you? I'm asking because I had that idea, but I don't know if it makes sense to carry the phone too. Yeah, I currently do still carry my phone, because I still use it for like navigation, which I want to get like a dedicated like iPad mini or something in my car to run navigation and music in the car. just cut out more. I used to actually not carry my phone. I had a phase where I literally didn't carry the phone. I had a phase where I carried the phone, but it was always powered off. But in recent years, I've, especially after moving away from my hometown, like, I call my friends more. Like, I do legitimately use it as a phone. But carrying the pocket notebook and pocket camera are just tools for me to pull it out of my pocket less. Like, the more I introduce these other things into my life to kind of replace functions of the phone, I find myself using the phone less. Like, my screen time on my phone is not high. Let's see. My screen time today is 1 hour, 5 minutes. Oh, it just updated. 2 hours, 8 minutes. I think because I had something open this whole time while I was streaming. But yeah, 2 hours. Yesterday, 2 hours, 10 minutes. Day before that, 4 hours. What's that? I think I was watching YouTube on my phone. Monday, 1 hour, 27 minutes. Sunday, 59 minutes. So, like, even though I still carry my phone, I don't use it as much anymore because I've kind of replaced some of its functions. So, I don't know. I would maybe experiment with not carrying it again, at least for certain, like, outings and things. But I'm trying to just retrain my brain rather than literally not carrying it. Have you ever tried skating yourself? I'm not good, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. I have tried it. I'm actually looking at, because I'm moving to Indianapolis where my friends are, and they're big skaters. So, like, as it warms up next spring, I'll probably get into it, buy a board, partially because, like, I just love gear. I love stuff. So, like, the idea of making a custom skateboard is appealing to me, even if I don't know if I'd be that good at skating. Yeah, I've tried it. My balance is off. I'm left foot dominant. Is that it? Or, like, I forget what it's, skating switch maybe. Yeah, so I like push with my right foot, something like that. I do it backwards from the way that people do, and I don't know if I should train myself to skate the correct way or if I'm supposed to use my left dominant. I don't know. Riding goofy, yeah. Well, then I don't know if it was goofy, because isn't goofy like putting your pushing foot, I don't know enough about it to talk about it, but it's like having your pushing foot forward or backward kind of thing, whereas the actual direction you're facing the board is switch. I don't know. Yeah, I might be goofy footed. So I guess I just skate goofy. And I need to figure out before I like really get into it if I want to commit to that or if I need to just force myself to be the other way. I'm late to the chat here. Are you trying to use a phone less? Yeah, we were just talking about this subject of the video about the pocket camera, pocket notebook. But yeah, I don't know how good I can get at skating. My balance is weird. I'm like freakishly tall, and so it makes it weird. Although I know Tony Hawk was like dummy tall, wasn't he? What, I don't know why I said wasn't he. He's still alive. Still skates. I don't know if that's an advantage or disadvantage, but I've got like so much leg leverage that like it makes it tough to like control it feels strange to skate because my center of gravity is so high. $0 camera rig was the first of yours I saw. I remember being shocked at how tiny your channel was compared with views quality. Yeah, when I posted that video, I had 300 subs, which is crazy, and then it got 80,000 views. So I went from 300 to 3,000 subs off of that video, and now I went from like 4,500 to 8,000 off of the Osmond video. So it's the steps. You plateau, and then you have another hit, and that's how it grows. Making some music for a friend right now. We have a D&D campaign and he wanted an intro thing. That's sick. And I'm realizing how hard it is to make music for other people. Sorry for venting. No, that's totally true. Like when somebody else is kind of the creative director on an operation you're trying to do, it's tough. But that sounds like a lot of fun. I used to play a lot of D&D. Yeah, making some music for that sounds fun. CRT in the back is cool. Something nice to break up the static background. Yes, indeed. It's a little moving object. Although the background itself, there's plenty to look at, even if it's not moving. I always find it funny, like Twitch streamer rooms where it's like everybody's room looks the same. I like having some crazy shit to look at. It's late here in Ireland. I'm going to head off soon. It was nice to chat. Looking forward to seeing you grow. Thank you, Jamie. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to shout out the Discord again while people are in here. Just a little beta soft launch of the Discord for those of you that are interested. I'll be like actually officially announcing it in a video later, the next main channel video on January 2nd. Posting every Tuesday in 2024. So the link to the Discord is in the description if you're interested. I'm in it already. Yeah. It's hard to tell like how much the chat is like filtering. So don't know how many. Some of you have probably heard me say that 4 times now. Do you have these brainwashing apps like Instagram and TikTok? I have them for connection with cousin, brother, etc. But I caught myself scrolling Reels/TikTok half the day, and it's pretty sad. Yeah, I'm lucky that I've never like dove into TikTok too much. I think I installed it once, and I was like, oh, this is fucked. So I don't use that anymore. Instagram, I haven't been using this year. I archived all my stuff at the start of 2023, and I was like, I'm going to take a year off it. Although I do occasionally find myself opening the browser app and pulling up like Instagram in the browser and scrolling a little bit, especially in the past week or two. But that's another habit I got to kick, but it's still definitely not as bad as when I had it like actually on my phone, because honestly using some of those things less by just using it in the browser, like uninstalling the app and using it in Chrome or whatever, helps a lot, because the user experience sucks. Like it's laggy. It's so good to just go with it. Whatever feels comfortable. The tricks will come as soon as you can ride. Talking about skating. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably mess around with it in the spring. I'm in it already. Jono is in the Discord. Hell yeah. Yeah, we've got quite a few people in there now. Just wanted to say I think your desk/workstation area are super neat, and I'm envious and would definitely want something like what you have. Do you rent the space or own/mortgage? This is a shitty apartment in Cleveland. It looks dope. Like it looks like I'm in some sick studio or something, but this is a like 550 square foot apartment. So it's like a studio. Like this is the main room, and then over here is just the kitchen. And up there, you can't really see it, but there's like a tiny bedroom that I mostly just use for storage. And this is in Cleveland, which in the Midwest, it's pretty cheap. Living expenses aren't crazy. But yeah, it's a tiny apartment. I really want to, like, first thing I'm doing when I get financially secure is buying a house. Like, I want to own property very badly so that I can actually, like, just repair things. Like, my personality is, like, every house I've lived in or apartment, I'm like, I want to modify things. I want to paint the walls, redo the drywall, fix all this, redo the floors. But I can't do that with renting. So, like, I was saving a lot of money this year that I was employed towards buying a house. But now that I'm recently unemployed, a company went broke. I'm just using that money that I was going to spend on a house to float me while I attempt this YouTube full-time thing. And we'll see where I get in the next 6 to 9 months. Before I go broke. And then if the YouTube doesn't work out by then, I will just grab a media agency job and shoot some commercials. So yeah, I rent the space. It's cheaper than you'd think. It's like $800 a month. That's Cleveland for you. And all the appliances are terrible. My fridge is incredibly loud. I actually moved the fridge from the kit because I film in this room that's combined with the kitchen. I moved the fridge to the back bedroom. Anything for better audio. So now I just have a quieter mini fridge out here for my daily, like, you know, eggs and shit are in there. But yeah, I'm making it work. Posting every Tuesday. Awesome. Found you through the William video and can't get enough of your content. Hell yeah. Yeah. It seems like, you know, from everything I've heard from everybody within, you know, from what I've seen in my own channel and from other YouTubers that I've talked to, consistency, it's just everything, you know, in getting a channel off the ground, having people able to expect a video every Tuesday and a stream every Thursday is like that's where exponential growth really starts, is at that threshold of consistency. Yeah, even when I uninstalled Instagram, I used it in Chrome and it was laggy, but did it anyway. I need to throw my phone into the bin and buy some flip phone for 2005, only for phone calls. Yeah, I actually literally, was it today or was it last night? I think it was last night. I bought a dumb phone, or no, I think it's technically a smartphone. I bought the Palm phone, PVG 100, I think it is, from like 12 years ago. And it's a phone that's like this big. It's like the size of an iPod Nano. I don't know if I'm actually going to use it because I don't think it gets like my SIM card now is a 5G SIM card. I don't think it works with that. It's 4G only. So I don't think I'll use it as my phone. The reason I bought it is to like mess around with something using it as a tiny camera monitor. But I might like legitimately start to use that as a phone as well. It'll be interesting to mess with. Also, a reminder to people to like the stream. Hell yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't ask for likes and subscribes ever, really. I think maybe I should, but I don't. I sport a garbage flip phone. It's still a garbage distro of Android, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of them aren't even dumb phones anymore. They're still technically smartphones, but still nice. Nice change of pace. Do you have a Patreon? No, not yet. I just getting this Discord thing going. Kind of just figuring out, you know, because in the last 6 months I went from like 300 to 8,000 subscribers. So now I'm trying to connect a bit, get a sense of what the community is, what the people are here for, what everybody wants, you know, start, you know, getting to know frequent names and stuff like that. And so this is all part of the progression towards, you know, like eventually there will be a Patreon and stuff. I will do that early next year because, to be honest, I will need I'll need any of the money I can get, because YouTube ad rev on a small channel doesn't really pay much of anything. It's like $1 for every. I think it's like $2 to $3 for every 1,000 views. So I ain't making nothing. And I don't have a job right now. So I'm giving this thing like 6 to 9 months until my savings run out and I go broke. We'll see if I make it by then. So Patreon will be a part of that. I just also want to figure out, like, is this just a direct contribution like, or am I giving you some kind of extra content? How do I want that to work? So I don't want to rush into that. Hey there, hope you're having a good day. Just stopping by to keep up the good work, man. Hell yeah, thank you. I'm probably going to call it here soon. Oh, damn, we're over 2 hours already. Yeah, 2 hours is usually my baseline, my goal. I'm going to watch the last couple clips from this thing. I don't think we'll go over the lens video. Maybe I'll save that for another stream. I appreciate your NAS signature. Thank you for your time. Outro, quite refreshing. Yeah, I try to be intentional about that, like valuing people's time and like not taking it for granted, like how cool it is that people are like watching, you know? So that's kind of my replacement for subscribe. Instead of an ask, it's a thank. What this whole thing was about finally clicked.
the ultimate pocket camera to replace my phone. It's not about quality. If I'm being real with myself, the iPhone footage might look better. It's not about the 1-inch sensor, the internal ND filter, the custom color profiles for grading. All those things are nice, but what I'm really after is the feeling of going out and shooting for fun on a tiny little point and shoot.
I love all the clips of the
When I was a
birds.
kid.
As you may have
I gotta go clean my room. Keep up the good work. Hell yeah! Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. Just finishing off this video, but yeah, thanks for hanging out. Oliver said I wanted to buy a 8-year-old Sony 6 months ago, but people around me told me I'm dumb, and then we've had extremely deep, hours-long conversations with my cousins about how this generation you need a smartphone. Yeah, it's tough.
noticed this video is in higher quality than my previous videos, which is because I got a new camera.
Oh, side note about this, me shooting in this bedroom when I was a kid, this desk thing with this little cabinet still exists right here. The cabinet door isn't there, but you see the shape of it, the desk topper bit, this thing is the same as this thing. So it's kind of funny that 10 years later, I'm filming piece to cameras in front of the same little bookshelf thing that I was, the same little desk topper that I was when I was a tiny little guy.
The Canon PowerShot something 330 something.
Hey Captain, I have my camera zoomed up on a deer.
So you can see why it took me so long. It's a pretty long screen.
Just me making DIY videos back then. Nerf modifications was my big thing. Never posted any of it, but I was making Nerf mod videos. Pretty sick. I'm off. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Thank you for hanging out. I, of course, wouldn't use an ad blocker, no siree, but if I did, I'd want to find a way to chuck you a few bucks easily. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, use an ad blocker, whatever. The ads aren't gonna sustain me. I need a Patreon or a product if I'm taking this full time. Unless I start doing 100K views every video. I'd really like to live in the times when you didn't need Insta, TikTok, all these garbage social medias to be a human being that have contact with other people. Yeah. Although, in the past year that I've been off Instagram, I've kind of realized, how much, I started just calling people, And, it was kind of awesome, I don't know that it's neat. I mean, I guess it depends on your friend group and the way that you, there's a lot of factors, but I've definitely lost touch with certain people that I wasn't as close with because of getting off of Instagram, which is a shame. But in some respects, it didn't hurt that much to get rid of it. I like that clip. Just a little Vex robotics thing. We would make robots and battle them in our school. So I participated in this. It was a lot of fun. The birds. A little bit of a sappy end to this video, but I don't know. That's what I do.
Maybe it's the less processed look. Maybe it's the physical zoom rocker. Maybe it's the lack of apps to distract me. But for whatever reason, this camera...
These B-roll shots are dope. I like the colored light and stuff. I don't know. I don't have that much to say about this video. I usually, as I'm doing simpler and simpler videos that are more like linear storytelling and less of the double narrative kind of things, I don't know if I'm going to do director's commentary for every video necessarily. Maybe that could be a Patreon thing, is doing some more in-depth director's commentary back end thing. Yeah, when you want to know what's going on and all that, you need to text people also. You don't need it, but you have no contact when you don't have it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Gets me out and shooting in a way that a phone never has. So at the end of all this, carrying a pocket camera daily has gotten me to use my phone less, but actually capture more.
The music in the background adds a lot. Thanks for this little heart thing covers up the messages sometimes. I got to figure out a way around that. The music in the background adds a lot to the videos. Big fan. Hell yeah. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, this song was me, actually. I made this one, which I'm proud of. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
That was the train I was waiting for. The 1 second I'm not holding my camera, the train comes by.
Yeah, I left that clip in because I was like, I was standing there waiting for a train. I was on a certain shot for a while, just waiting for the train to come by to get this B-roll shot. And then the second I walk away and like do this final shot of me walking to my car, then the train comes by, which is pretty funny. To uninstall all the things and have WhatsApp, Chrome, and phone app on my phone and carry a notebook. Yeah, like at this point, this is what my phone looks like. Oh, hold on, I'm not full screen. This is what my phone looks like. It's phone, message, email, Spotify, settings, Google Drive, Google Maps, Waze, calculator, voice memo, my bank, clock. And there ain't much outside of that in the other apps tray. I don't know, camera app, app store, Discord, I guess, is still in there. That's maybe technically the only social media that's still there, because I kind of use that as a texting app sometimes. Yeah. I'll uninstall it right now. Yeah, it's tough because sometimes you end up reinstalling for things, but it's made me feel better not having it long term. It's been over a year now that I haven't had it installed, and I don't miss it as much as I thought I would, honestly. But yeah, there's definitely specific people that like I'm not as close with that I could maybe interact with more through Instagram stories or whatever, but now like I don't have an in, I guess. But you know, that's life. I'm trying to be more intentional about connecting with people and calling and all that stuff. I'm quite hungry and it's dark out. I'm going to end stream, I think. I'll save the lens video for later, or maybe just won't do a director's commentary on that. But yeah, this was sick. This was an awesome stream. The first new stream after all the big Osmond stuff, since like doubling from 4 to 8K. Which on that stream I peaked at like 50 viewers, which was crazy for me. And so now this, I guess, establishes my new baseline at like 20, which is pretty sweet. So thank you everybody. Not to focus on the numbers too much, but you know, it's cool to see people being interested. So thank you everybody for hanging out. Once again, join the Discord. We got a lot of stuff going on in here now. It's in the description of this stream if you haven't seen yet. Lots of stuff going on. Is there any plans to hang out in voice chat? Possibly. Anyway, I'll respond to all this off stream. Good night. Thank you everybody for hanging out. I will be back. I'll be away for a week, so you might not hear from me outside of the Discord until January 2nd. So everybody have a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Peace.